Hey buyers, is now the time you've been waiting for? The Greater Toronto Area home sales were down on a year-over-year basis, with the region's housing market remaining well supplied in the month of August. Currently, there are approximately 4.5 months of inventory, putting us in what we refer to as a buyer's market. The Bank of Canada also announced a further rate cut last week, which could lead to improvements in affordability. Buyers today are more sensitive than ever to changes in borrowing costs, as they pay close attention to what their monthly mortgage payments are and what they could be. As mortgage rates continue to trend lower this year and next, we should experience an uptick in buying activity. Hey there, I'm Matt Sloan, and I'm a realtor here in the Greater Toronto Area. And if I could ask a huge favor, if you could hit that subscribe button, it would mean a lot, as I'm really trying to work on growing my new YouTube channel. And if you do like this video, please leave it a thumbs up. Now, it's that time of the month where we review what has been going on in the most recent stats of the Greater Toronto real estate market. And buyers definitely have some good news for you. And as for sellers, don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. So stay with me here while I pull up some charts that will definitely break down more of what's been going on and what we've been seeing in the market and possibly what we could expect in the months ahead. So here we go. I always like to start off with this dot chart here. It's the average sale price all the way from May 2020 to August 2024. And we can see starting at May 2020, if we move along, it's just been a nice steady incline throughout, except for these months here where we had a big spike because of record low interest rates. So if we cut that section out, we've seen a steady flow of appreciation over the years from 2020 to 2024, with the ups and downs just from seasonal change, right? So if you see here now, we've had the most recent months, July and August, we have trended down in the average sale price. But again, typically the summer months of July and August are typically slower than the rest of the year. So that does match, the previous years that we've had due to, kids being out of school, family vacations, people up at cottages, and real estate just not being on top of everybody's mind. So we've seen a typical seasonal change the last couple months. So nothing to worry about there, but it has put the market in a good position for buyers as more inventory has continued to hit the market here and put us into that buyer's market, as I mentioned earlier. If we look at the year to date, average sale price is $1.121 million. So again, a little bit down, but prices holding relatively stable from a year ago. As for sales, they're down 4.7%. So again, if we remember, last year was one of the slowest years that we had in the Toronto real estate market in decades for the year. And we are actually trending below that right now. So sales are just not happening, even though people are starting to slowly come off the sidelines to get more confident. But buyers do have that control right now where they don't have to rush into purchasing a property. So again, good news for buyers. Also, we're seeing 23 days on market as an average right now for home types across the GTA. That's quite down from last year, or quite up, sorry, I should say, from last year. But again, last year around this time, we were just starting to go into the slower season, as we did have a little bit busier of a spring last year. If you look down below at this red box where we see 4 and 4.55 months of inventory, again, that is something that we really do follow, and it will tell us, where things are trending and where things are going. Again, over 4 months of inventory, we're definitely in a buyer's market now for across the GTA for all home types. Again, this will differ on market to market and property to property and home type to home type. But again, as an average right now, we're sitting at 4.5 months, which again, like I mentioned, is buyer's market right now. Next, if we go into the monthly sales data, this really breaks down the last 13 months, so we can really compare, what the last year's August was like compared to this year's, and we can really see how the months of inventory has changed throughout the past year, where, this time last year, the months of inventory was just starting to tick up, and we could see, what kind of happened to the average sale price when that did happen. So the months of September, all the way through to January, we saw similar months of inventory, maybe a little bit less as we do now. And then since we've started the year this year, January, we've slowly crept up in months of inventory throughout the spring and the summer, leaving us at 4.5 months of inventory, which puts us at, for average sale price, just over $1,074,000 right now for the month of August here in 2024. And then lastly, this chart really pulls up just the month of August. So from August 2019 to August 2024, we can really see how the months of August specifically have reacted and what has happened in the market for those months. And if you look at, back at 2019, 2020, 2021, we're seeing less than 3 months of inventory in these months. And even in 2021, when we had that huge spike, less than 1 month of inventory. So you can see what we're at right now with 4.5 months of inventory. So a lot of supply on the market. The average sale price is similar to what we saw back in 2022 right now, and not much lower from last year in 2023. So even though we have a whole bunch of inventory, and it does feel like buyers aren't really making that jump and putting that pen to paper, as we have seen sales a little bit lower, the average price is still trending around the same. So we're not seeing that big drop in average sale price, which kind of shows us that we're kind of at the bottom here or we can safely assume that we're at the bottom for what we're seeing right now in average sale price. So as I mentioned earlier, the Bank of Canada reduced rates last week. So we'll kind of see what happens going into this fall market here with the average sale price as, buyers start coming off the sidelines with that, with interest rates being a little bit lower. And when that happens, we can probably see that average sale price trending upwards. But again, only time will tell there. So I hope this gave you a little picture of what's been going on in the real estate market and here in the Greater Toronto area and what we might likely see to come. Again, we're going to watch to see if there's any further changes to the interest rates coming up. We're going to see how this last announcement really affects this fall market here and really affects these buyers, if they're going to come off the sidelines or not, and see if we can absorb a little bit of that months of inventory that's on the market. That will all determine on what happens with the average sale price. Again, this all differs from micro market to micro market and property home type across the GTA. So if you want to know more about your home type or a home type and area that you are thinking about, feel free to reach out, shoot me a message, and we can dive into that a little bit deeper. Hope this helped you, and until next month, see you then.